home brewed products from Hong Kong. If this brand looks familiar, if you're getting a little deja vu, it's because we've already discussed this brand and reviewed their products. But as sometimes happens with brands like this, I was recently contacted by the brand and told that they reformulated. They changed up their products, they changed up some of their lineup stuff. Basically, they said they made a change and they needed a new video, and I knew you guys would be totally up for it. So today we're going to take their new stuff, put it through the paces, and see what it's all about. Alright, what is happening, guys? Mike here. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I'm so excited to be back here with all of you awesome people. Like I said, today we're talking about some new reformulated products from Hong Kong Homebrew. I'm always interested in looking at products like this, products from other countries. It's always very cool for me to see what people are doing with the pomade community in their own part of the world, because it's, in some ways it's a lot of the same, but some ways it's very different. It's always unique. It's always a fun experience. As I understand it, though, the brand reformulated just a couple of their products, one of which was the styling clay. I'm not sure of everything that changed here with it and the brand. I wasn't like given a list or anything. I just kind of looked at it the way that I normally approach these type of situations, which is if a brand reformulates or changes a product, I'm just going to look at it as if it's a new product. I'm just going to wipe the slate clean, going to test it out, give you guys my thoughts. I figure that's just the easiest way to do it. So what I am doing is just going off of what they sent me this time. Last time we did look over the pomade, a spray, and the clay, and I was told the clay got an update, and then I don't know if they combined two products or just created this new one or something. We now, though, have a styling cream to look at here as well. And if you guys remember from the first review that I did, I actually said that this was a great choice for fine-haired people. So I was very interested when approaching this to see if that trend continued with the reformulated products. So let's kick things off here with the all-new styling clay. According to the brand, the styling clay is a water-based styling clay that suits all different hair types and textures. It does offer, of course, a matte finish, but it doesn't actually list a specific hold strength other than strong cohesiveness with easy restyling, so we're gonna go with that. It also comes in a 3-ounce plastic jar for 185 Hong Kong dollars, which is $23.58 US. Another feature of this clay, though, is the smooth consistency, and you can see that here. It scoops out and breaks down nice and smooth. It's not lotion-like or liquid or anything like that. It's not overly creamy. It is slightly creamy, though, but it's mostly just smooth, and it breaks down all the way very easily without much pressure at all. You can also feel a bit of that thickness in there as you break it down. Moving into the demo here, though, of course I'm going to demo this on dry hair, because on damp hair this works, but it pretty much just suffocates it as far as volume and texture because you're watering it down. Applying it to dry hair is quite easy. I'd say it's slick and creamy at first and only slightly dry, so it's not very hard at all to get into your hair and get it all moved around. Once it's there, though, it begins to take effect rather quickly. It dries up really nice and quick, which is nice in one sense because it doesn't do it right when you apply it, so it gives you a chance to move it around for a second before all that dryness and tack kicks in really nice and heavy. And it does happen very quick. It's actually fully dried up as I'm moving it around at this point, which is a bit hard for my regular comb to get through, so I'm going to break out the wide tooth comb. I think that's for sure needed, and even at that I think it's a bit hard to shape and style with it just because it is so dry. But here's the end result, which for sure has a strong matte finish and some visible texture and volume. Moving right along into the endurance here, let's check in at 4 hours, and what we see here is basically the same exact thing, but some of the volume has deflated. Not much, though. It's really not that bad, to be honest, and at 8 hours in, I think for the most part it's just gone down just a little bit more in that volume department, but I wouldn't say this is fully deflated because as I move it around I can still see some major signs from the product that it's there and still putting up a fight. Let's go ahead and switch gears now over to the styling cream, and according to the brand, again, this is a water-based styling cream that is silky smooth and easily absorbed by all hair types. It also describes this as providing stable styling with natural shine. Size and price wise, though, it comes in the same 3-ounce jar for the same price of 185 Hong Kong dollars or $23.58 US. Now inside the jar on this one is where it gets interesting, and not just because this one obviously had some kind of shift in the jar, which for me is understandable. I mean, it did cross an ocean to to reach me after all. I mean, it's just obvious that it moved around a little bit. I kind of cut it some slack a little bit. It did come a long way. But looking at this stuff here, it's pretty much the exact opposite of the clay consistency. It feels very much like a lotion. It's wet, it's lightweight, it's just completely lotion-like in its consistency, which can tend to give one the impression that it's going to perform a certain way, really light and slick in the hair. But actually using it, on the other hand, now that just totally destroyed any assumption that I had about how this was going to perform. Let me show you what I'm talking about. This one totally pulls this Houdini disappearing act when you apply it to your hair. You see it's super lotiony and wet, and when you begin to work it in there, I'm using dry hair by the way, once again, and when I apply it, I feel the slick lotion-like feeling, and then right away, it disappears. It just totally absorbs into the hair, shifts gears, and becomes dry and sticky. I gotta be honest about this, guys. I really did not see this coming when I first used it. I mean, it totally evaporated and became really dry, really tacky. Just like we saw with the clay, it is a bit hard to mold because it is so dry, but it's really not impossible. And as you can see here at the end, there is some nice visible texture, volume, even a little separation in there. It's really not a bad little style there in the end. Moving right along though into the endurance, at 4 hours in, we got actually some pretty well maintained results here. There might be a little bit of deflation there. If it is there, it's very slight, not much at all, and that dryness is for sure sticking around. It's still quite high, and at 8 hours in, I think we can see a bit more deflating there. Again, not much, and if I run my fingers through, you can really see there's still a lot of power there, which for 8 hours is really nice. Now the washout on each of these products was extremely easy for me to describe. I think they just fell out of the hair with water, just water. I was actually very surprised with how easily it came out of my hair with the water. You know, there's really not much else to say. That's what I saw. It came right out with water. It was actually pretty great in my opinion. For the scent though, yeah, I believe they're both the same scent, and it's not listed, at least I didn't see it listed anywhere of what it is specifically, but I smell lemons. I don't know if it's like lemon essential oil by itself or it's blended with something, but I'm fairly certain it's got some kind of lemon scent to me, and I love lemon scents. I mean, I absolutely love a good lemon scent. It's not very strong either, which is also great for me and my allergies, but lemon scents just always have come across well for me for some weird reason, but it's actually stronger in the jar than it is in your hair, so that plus the lemon scent, did I mention it's a lemon scent? That gets high marks from me in the lemon scent department. Bringing it all together here though for my final thoughts, I think with the clay, this was a definite improvement there from the one that we reviewed previously. The endurance I think was much stronger this time around, and I think this still is a great option for thin-haired people. I mean, in using it, I see a lot of aspects there like the dry texture and stuff like that that just screams thin or fine-haired folks to me, and I think it does work to an extent for thicker-haired folks. I mean, I have thick hair, so it obviously worked for me, but I do think that if you have any thicker hair than I do, then it might be a bit of an issue. I do think, though, it was a bit hard to style with for people like me. You know, if you have thinner or finer hair than me, you probably won't experience this, but that's why I say if you have thicker hair than me, you might have some issues, because for my hair, I did find it a tad bit hard to actually shape and mold a style with because it was so dry. And again, my hair is pretty thick, so I think that was the particular issue. I think it's hair type related, but that's what I saw. You know, I report what I see, and it was a similar issue actually than what I saw with the cream. That though, the cream was pretty crazy to me. I mean, that Houdini disappearing act, this stuff, it's just nuts to me how it feels completely different in the hand coming out of the jar than what it feels like in your hair after you apply it or, you know, shortly after. Again, I'm absolutely sure this stuff would service fine-haired folks completely, and for my hair, it was a bit easier to style with than the clay, but it was still extremely dry and a tad bit hard to shape with, so that's something I wanted to report as well. As far as hold strengths go, they don't specifically name it, or again, at least I didn't see it named anywhere. For the clay, I would probably call it, at the very least, a medium, maybe even a full step above a medium based on your hair type. If you have thinner hair, you're probably going to get a little more than I did out of it hold-wise. As far as the finish goes, matte finish, spot on, didn't see anything else other than that. When it comes to the styling cream, I'd say the hold strength for me, what I saw was very close to the clay, so I would put it in the same general area as far as hold strength goes, maybe a tad bit lighter because because I did find it a little bit easier to style with. As far as the shine goes, I actually saw little bits of matte in there. It is listed as neutral shine, so I'd probably go with that just to be safe, but I think it's neutral, leaning more towards the matte side. But that is pretty much it though. That's my thoughts on these two from Hong Kong Homebrew. If you'd like to check these out, links and a discount code will be in the description there, so check those out if you want, and make sure you also drop me a like here and a comment. That's a big help to me, and if you haven't subscribed, you absolutely need to subscribe. So many of you tell me you watch but haven't subscribed. It makes no sense to me. Just click the button. It only takes 2 seconds. It's right down there for you. Just click it and join us. It's a big help to me, and I thank you in advance for doing that, and thank you to all of you that have already done it. I of course want to thank you also for stopping by the channel today and checking out this video. I will be back with you guys again very soon. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.